Yes, oh yeah. If you open up your damn eyes, sun don't rise in the east. The depth that you perceive is not limited to what you see. Sun don't rise in the east, such is only true, relatively. Sun don't rise in the east. The depth that you perceive is not limited to what you see. Sun don't rise in the east. Sun rise, only universal. Every line infused with intent, the style thrown for me. It was a sense I flipped the lyric without a flinch when I catch some new shit. That beat escaping my lip. Well, even if one is innocent, the more spiritually ignorant one is, the more you suffer. I'm not referring to define religious structure about the awareness buffer from which one they can discover what they see, taste, touch, smell, and hear. Can reveal, lay up to how they feel. Become open to what is real. For creativity to manifest and be born through the paint, through the musical score, sound galore, through the word, poetry, and the lore. From the core, y'all, be open and absorb. Sun don't rise in the east. The depth that you perceive is not limited to what you see. Sun don't rise in the east. Such is only true, relatively. Sun don't rise in the east. The depth that you perceive is not limited to what you see. Sun don't rise in the east. Sun rise only universally.
Shinobi.
Yeah, where are my sweet tooths at? Yeah, I hope you like some treats. Because, wow, it's Malevolent MC. Well, it's the flow, Shinobi scholar, wax styles. I abolish better ingredients, better pizza. How Papa John is. Reading level college, never needed. Hooked on phonics. Too many whack jockers rapping it with that flow of logic. And on the beat, I would have frolic, scream like fiber optics. The way that I would comment on each and every topic. Girls will give a ninja problem when he can't help just being honest. No facial or symbolic, cast a spell from tome of knowledge. Can you see the beats I swallow? It's hard to follow. I give a fuck about a motto, and I rarely follow the ordinary, a standard model. I drop the shit like guano. The style is extravaganza when I hit them with the combo. The flow is cozy like a poncho, yet I'm overlooked like they was looking for Waldo. The flow Shinobi doesn't throw it like a John Doe. So what the fucking problem, bro? See, voila, yes, I'm a rhymer and a writer and a freestyler. My style buff, but I flow it like the roughest diamond with a line that I'm designing. You see, I'm bonding Persian patterns, I'm defining thread accounting like the fiber. A cipher, inscribing like the scriber who be hyper off the pink eraser. I'm a liberator, fortress infiltrator, coming from that mystic acre. My rhythm fully integrated, words that I created, conjugated for your taste buds. Yeah, them taste buds. Oh yeah, yes, them taste buds, oh. Taste good now, some taste buds now. Some taste good, yo. Taste buds, yeah. Hey, and I'm out. Peace. Yeah. It's my lab. Linus on the beat. Yeah. See, well, my rhyme stylistics, the linguistics that I envisage, panoramic up inside the vista, a Leonardo with the critics. I'm paying Kate Winslet, it's just a snippet of how I flip it. See, the thought thinker, coming away the scripture, whether the funk, the freak, the dip, the richter, in the mixture, it's the tongue twister, lyrical flip some shit up, the words are colors adequately mix up. The thought thinker, coming away the scripture, whether the funk, the freak, the tip, the richter, in the mixture, it's the tongue twister, lyrical flip some shit up. Words are colors that I quickly mix up. I hold the trinket, the way that I be speaking. jewel diamond, a bust to shine and gleaming. I'm cheesy with the lines, mature just like a cheese nip with the real cheddar. Unlike a Cheez-It, the Blu-ray type of extra features about the speaker or list the thinker. MMOs I rarely play the healer above the reefer. And yes, I am a dreamer. I am still a keeper, even if I adhere to.
Hello, welcome to a Thursday update stream. I'm your host, Connor Erickstead, here to give you another production update. It's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks. It's been a while since the updates happened. But hey, we're back, and we're here to update. Yeah, things looked a little different there. We have some plans moving forward, and this was actually our point of sale desk right here. These nice lights. And I kind of wanted to see what it would look like on camera and how it felt to stand behind it, give it a little presentation. I really wish this microphone was like here. So these are the things you learn. Connor's, yes, Connor. Well, we are doing the update stream. It is a bit of a little news broadcast right here. I don't know. We've Ben and I had a lot of thinking about like our streams and such, and maybe changing some things around. So I'm just doing a little exploring. I'm just a little curious about a few things when it comes to the stream. Corey is in Greece, tuning in from Greece. So it's 9 p.m., a perfect time for streaming. Malev's in chat. Chivinger, good to see you. It's one of those names that I've read a lot, but I don't really know if I've said ever. Anyways, good to see you again. A lot of people had stopped by our booth at Adepticon, and a lot of them probably are in this chat. So if you are, it's good to see you again. And if you weren't at Adepticon, maybe you should think about going. And if you did think about going, but you can't, that's okay too. I'm sure you had other life stuff going at the time. If you are new to the stream, guys, every Thursday, almost every Thursday, we try to get in and do a production update. Give everyone a little bit of update on our production. Basically, where all of our outstanding projects are at, give you a chance to field any more generalized questions, or if you had a question about an ad you saw, or one of ours, or a product or something like that, we can usually help you out or direct you to the right place. Just a bit of an attempt for us to be transparent and on the record when it comes to things. Think Chicago Avenger. All right, Shavenger. That helped drill it, Shavenger. That's super easy. And I'm a dum-dum for not being able to say it. I apologize. Yes, Talon was there. He imbues a piece of his soul in every packing card. And speaking of which, before we get into Adepticon recap or anything, I wanted to start off by thanking the staff and crew. Adepticon was great. It was great to hang out with people, but couldn't have been possible without literally weeks of work all around, starting all the way with Daniel painting sheets, Travis cutting them, James spinning, Brittany and Talon QCing, packing, while always also doing their normal day jobs like shipping and running normal production. It was great. We had a great range of products. We had packed our crates to the brim, and for the large majority sold out of about 3/4 of everything we took, which is a pretty efficient number of selling out. Generally, we sold out on like the last day with the last few as well, so also efficient there. So, huge shout out to Doug and Tracy. Doug sat us, Ben and I, down maybe 6 weeks before Adepticon and said, hey, I just want to know what we need to bring. And they really did a great job. There was one product I feel like we were missing out on for all you Rollerblade fans, but there was also nowhere to put that product, nor time for us to cut it. So if that is the biggest critique, which it was a decision made not to bring that one, when we sold out of the stuff we brought in place, it's like I can't really be upset at all. So huge shout out to the crew. It is a lot of work preparing for cons. It's a lot of work to get to cons. It's a lot of work at the cons. Doug also did a smashing Hametsu raid. It seemed like a lot of people had a ton of fun getting just absolutely stomped by the Gasha Decoro. And in fact, I think there's one out here on this table. I'm going to go grab him. And we're back. So here is, just for scale reference, in my hands, this is a little ninja. You can barely see him, but this is a standard 28 32mm ninja from Hametsu. This is the Gasha Decoro. Look, he can tickle his kneecap. Tickle, tickle. Thing's huge. And it did huge things, just stomped on people all over the place. Here is an 8.5 by 11 right here. And anyways, big ol' mini. We've been looking at STLs for these things, and jumping ahead of myself a little bit. They will be available physically down the line, but we have other things to fulfill first for people that have given us cash and other things. And we're not going to release that product until we're a bit more caught up on the others. So I think 2 groups of people won the fight, although that may have just been from the first day. It was not that many. It was just like 2 or 3 or something like that. But yes, and there was a couple of cheese strats that came out that made it like super easy. So that was interesting. I won't spread them. I don't know if we want to spread those, but those raid rules will be online for anyone who wasn't at Adepticon if they want to try it. And the physical print on demand of the Gasha Decoro and the big old slug boy also will be available down the line. But just to recap, thanks to the crew, thanks to the staff, not only doing their normal day jobs, but also prepping everything else to get it on the truck so we could spend a few days selling some product, playing some games, and meeting some friends. Seriously, it is a monumental effort, and it went really, really well this year. So yeah, there's that. It was great meeting everybody. It was our best Adepticon ever, and I think that sentiment was shared by quite a few other vendors that we had there. Seemed like it was not only just our booth, but everywhere all the time. There was just people hanging out and having fun and buying up products and sharing in the joy of tabletop miniatures. It's great to see. And it was pretty, it's always a refreshing thing to go to Adepticon. We say this every year. We spend a lot of time in the shop. We spend a lot of time looking at screens and talking into microphones or typing out in emails. And it's also one of those things that you don't always get the true experience of what's going on in the outside world, just because, and I'm this kind of person, if I buy a product online, if I like it or if I don't like it, I usually don't really like reach out or say anything. I'm just either happy with the purchase or not, and I move on. And I think there's a lot of people out there. So to be able to go to a convention and meet people who are excited about the games and enjoy things and are playing the Hametsu raids was really incredible. Thanks for stopping by if you did. I think that's all I'll say there. This isn't necessarily an Adepticon update stream, but it is part of the deal of why we haven't had update streams. Been really crazy getting stuff over the line. And while we were doing our normal jobs and not just prepping for Adepticon, production did get squeezed a bit when it came to some last minute cuts and prints and things to bring, like the Condor Mini. Who's that guy? The Elk Running and the Commonwealth miniature, which you have not, if you have not seen, head to our website because they were pretty cool. Guys going straight medieval, sword and spear. It's incredible. Let's get into it. Let's get into the normal update stream. So, starting with our oldest project first, we have mobile arms. Mobile arms, we are back to full printing. Last week, we didn't print much because we were all away at Adepticon. The week before then, it was about 50-50 printing mobile arms in large batches, but also squeaking things through, like those 3D print-on-demand Adepticon miniature specials. At this point, we are full-bore mobile arms printing. We are trying to wrap up the Hinterlands mechs right now, the Ferret and the Mammoth still. Once those get wrapped up, the Ferret, Auroch, and Mammoth will be done. And as soon as we move on to the Sail It Labs mechs, and those start getting processed, orders should also start getting processed and going out. 100% just waiting on the printers to go burr. Terrain has been pushed through the queue and is cut. Boxes, tokens, and freebie miniatures have been made, are ready to go. So we are just waiting on those printers to print. We have crunched in as many mech frames as we can per bed. The print time is roughly 25 hours for them. So once we start on Monday and we lose an hour each day for the print switch, it really is maximum printing that we can do at this point. So thank you for your patience on mobile arms. We are printing it, and it will soon get into you guys' hands. We're really excited to get those frames out and into the world because they're fun. They're really fun to play with. Corey ran some mobile arms demos at Adepticon on the Snowy Hametsu table as well, so that was fun. So that's mobile arms, just waiting on printing. Fulfillment, we are aiming to get the large majority done in April. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Once we get past this first hurdle of the Hinterlands mechs, getting all those completed, then we'll just be chugging along and should get data on like, oh, we've just sent out X many orders in this first week. We have estimations right now, but things always fall apart when you hit the real world, or at least you get more accurate data from real life experience instead of the estimations. So, yeah, he did. Pit Lord. We were aiming to get the Pit Lord rules and the Breacher rules out to you guys, the PDF versions of it. Obviously, you don't have the PDF versions. Obviously, we missed that mark. It is still a few tickets that were left over that are being addressed by Ben and Malev and Matt. Not all at the same time, but it is being juggled. Once those get proofed, once those get done, TBD should be soon. I don't know if that's going to be the end of this week or next week. Just chugging through it. That is Ben's focus right now. Is working with those writers, getting those PDFs over the line so they can get ordered. Specifically for Pit Lord, 3 out of the 5 main miniatures are molded and on the way back to us. The other 2 will be molded sometime next week and on the way back to us. We are going to start running those because our resin department, James, is pretty much caught up, just a handful of back-ordered products at this point. So the miniatures and then the terrain as well will be done, ready, and to the side, just waiting on those rule books and the arena booklets to get in. The cards have shipped. They are on the way. Tokens arrived, and boxes are next to be ordered, although those usually only have about a week turnaround. With the rules and the arena booklet, we are looking at May fulfillment for Pit Lord. The minis and terrain, since we're going and moving forward with those, it could be possible we start shipping that in April. But right now we're aiming for mobile arms to be primary fulfillment in April and then Pit Lord in May. Breacher, I had mentioned. TBD on those rules. They will come out when they are ready, chugging through it as fast as we can. The terrain has been prepped and is about to go into the queue, the terrain being the shoot house. And another kit, the industrial scatter kit. Don't know what we actually ended up naming that, but like the generator and such. The industrial scatter kit and the shoot house, since they were a separate product released midway through, have just hit the back order queue. And those products will be shipping out separate from Breacher itself. That was always the intention. We wanted to somewhat split up our manufacturing methods so that we didn't have to line so many things up in the beginning part of this year between Mobile Arms, Pit Lord, Breacher, and Nightthirst. And it's going to be effective. So you guys may receive that shoot house terrain before you receive your Breacher. You for sure will, actually. Get that ready, and once you receive your book, you'll be good to go. Once the Breacher books get through their final editing stage and the PDFs sent out to you guys digitally, the Breacher book is being produced overseas. So it is softbound, but it is still overseas. It will have a little bit longer of a lead time. So we're looking at June fulfillment for Breacher. But in the same way as Pit Lord, when it comes to the miniatures and such, we're going to be pushing those into our production pipeline as quickly as we can so that when those books arrive, it won't be where we're currently at with Mobile Arms, where our production is now slowed down fulfillment. That brings us to the last outstanding project of Nightthirst. Nightthirst ended, I was going to say a week ago, because Adepticon is a void of time that does not exist in my mind. 2 weeks ago at this point. Thanks for all the support. Thank you guys for buying into Nightthirst. We did receive a hard copy. If you were at Adepticon, you may have had a chance to get your hands on this. This book is missing a few pieces of art and a final proofing check. But we wanted to get something physical and get it into Whitty's hands at the convention, potentially so she could run demos and just get some eyes on her new game, Nightthirst. So this book looks super cool, even in its like 98, 99% finished page state, being able to flip through it physically. Look, there she is. There's Whitty, right there. Being able to flip through it has been really, really fun. It's always nice to get the physical copy of something that you spent a lot of time staring at on a screen and working with. Once that gets to the proofing stage, the rule book will be ordered. It is domestic, much like Pit Lord, and so it will also be aiming for a May fulfillment. So from the top all the way down, we have Mobile Arms shipping in April. We'll be keeping you guys up on exactly how long that fulfillment will take because we're going to start it as we're producing the Sailor Labs mechs. Pit Lord and Nightthirst will be fulfilled in May. That's what we're aiming for right now. The last things that should come in for those projects are the rule books, and we are going ahead and moving forward with the minis and terrain production in the meantime. And then Breacher, we're looking at a June fulfillment, mostly because that book's being printed overseas, and so adds another 4 weeks or so onto that shipping time. Both Pit Lord and Breacher, you should receive the digital PDF soon. Ben's juggling the finalization touches for Pit Lord, Breacher, and Nightthirst right now, working with those writers, working through those notes and getting it into the final layout. So when they're ready, we'll let you know. Should be soon. But as a lot of people know with projects, the last like 5% of a project tends to be the hardest. That's our major outstanding projects right now. In general news, I mentioned earlier, Spincast resin is mostly caught up, handful of back-ordered items. So if you were waiting on back-ordered resin, it is most likely done and or at least cast and in our QC department. MDF back order is not caught up. We are currently cutting some orders up until the end of January right now. We cut them chronologically as they come in, and we should cut enough for stock and then some to be restocked, or cut enough for orders and also stock. So at this point, we're about 2 months behind on the MDF, but we've been slowly catching up after we got through the 300 plus Black Friday kits. And Travis is out there just cutting away, just stacks and stacks of MDF out there on the tables, soon to be packaged and on their way to you guys. Zines. Zines we had at Adepticon. They were received really well. I forgot to bring them in here with me, but B&B Nightmare, Void Cowboys, and Hill King. We've gone ahead and placed another order of those. So if you ordered those online, we're looking at early next week to receive those zines and send them out to you. Is that right? The 5th through the 8th, maybe early 2 weeks from now. Receiving them end of next week. So yeah, early second week of April. Should be shipping out like April 9th or 10th with the zines. Ben also just put the PDFs live for the zines. Look at that update as it happens. Ben, do you want to drop a link into those zines for those PDFs, or is it in people's inboxes? More info on the content of Nightmare B&B. Nightmare B&B was written kind of, well, very much so in response to an absolutely bizarre experience that we had at an Airbnb in Chicago last year, 2 years ago. Not last year, but the year before that. And Matt just wanted to write essentially a little bit of horror, where you're rolling, you're discovering things in this B&B, and you're just trying to escape with your life. Whenever we were doing these zines this year, we've had that one sitting there in the back, and thought, hey, why don't we give this a proper printing? So in the Discord, there is a channel, exclamation mark Discord in the chat, that you can jump into. And now that people have the PDF, yes, you can play Nightmare with your Don't Look Back stuff. It was a bit therapeutic. I don't know about therapy, but it was therapeutic. Demon Van was last year's April's Fool, which maybe that one's coming to a zine near you in the future. Who knows? Anything's possible. Those are on the way to us physically, though, and we'll be shipping them out here in about 10 days now at this point. If they arrive end of next week, we'll get them out the week following. We are printing up those other Adepticon miniatures. So we put the Elk, Commonwealth, Condor, and the last year's freelance supply guy. Put those up for sale over the Adepticon, and sold out of almost all of them. So we are now doing second runs of that. I'm squeezing them in between mobile arms runs while still trying to maximize that 24 hours printing per machine. So those will start going out as well. It's pretty much all of our general news. Covers resin, back order, printing, and general zines and ordering. If there's any other questions, products, things you're waiting on to cut back in stock, things you're waiting on the status of, Ben and I are going through the Lunar faction packs. We are getting to a reorder point for quite a few of those. So there's a lot of Lunar items that are getting the sideways and updated art treatment. That should arrive, question mark, sometime in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out on that if you want to get the updated art. Our goal for Lunar is never to destroy anything from previous generations. So if you have stuff you want to buy, if you get the old stuff, it's all very usable, perfectly fine. But we did, after a few years of experience, both design, gameplay, even just art for Ben, there is some stuff we wanted to upgrade with these cards as they run out of stock. Same thing with the Don't Look Back VHS as well. The guy wanted to get ahead of his Commonwealth paint scheme. What are those colors? So Commonwealth lore-wise, you could look up Vietnamnat. I'm seeing letters backwards in my head right now. The Indian Space Agency. India is what is giving the rides to all of the Commonwealth factions up into space. It's part of their deal with the Commonwealth that their space agency will reserve payload and spots for crew of the Commonwealth countries. So it is not out of the realm of possibility that all of the Commonwealth astronaut suits are some second or first generation rentals, essentially, through the Indian Space Agency. Vyamanats, that's the one. So that would be probably a good starting point. Is that how they will be officially painted? No, but we most likely will be taking inspiration from those Indian Space Agency suits, which they did just release a new flight suit design. It's pretty slick. It was like a week and a half ago, I think, they showed off. The Indian Space ISRO showed off their new flight suits, which are really nice looking. That's the short answer there. Long answer is there isn't an official paint scheme yet. Finn does made the logo. We have the official logo, although I'm not sure if it's been shared yet for the Commonwealth, and that could also give you some color palette inspiration if you're going for that. We can maybe drop that in the Discord here in a bit. Essentially, and I mentioned this in the Discord, the Commonwealth, instead of being one faction pack of 5 units, will be smaller 1, 2, and 3 unit faction packs that represent the countries that they come from, countries of the Commonwealth. So all the way from Canada to Sri Lanka. They will be a little bit build your own faction. You will be able to piecemeal them 1 or 2 at a time if you would like. It's going to give us a lot more variety for the ability to do maybe 2 astronauts and a rover, or 1 astronaut and 2 rovers, really mix it up with the format. They also will be able to be contracted out to other factions. So if you bought the 2-player starter set and you get a few games in and you think, man, I really want to get a few more, where am I at? Should I get this faction, this faction? I don't need a full 5. Hold off for a few weeks. And the Commonwealth may be your solution. Hopefully you should be able to pick up 1 or 2 and then field them as generalists to outfit your ranks while still maintaining lore inside of the lunar world. That's it. I had to do a little think there. I had to do a little reset of my brain to make sure that I hadn't missed anything major, and I don't think I did. Give everyone about 10 more seconds. 15 maybe. Throw any more questions in chat if you have them. If you do not, my voice. Apparently I only had like 30 minutes of voice available for this stream. Still a little rough from Adepticon, but that's the way it goes. I didn't get sick this time, which is great. Keep your eyes out. This feels like a nice height. Feels like a good way to do update streams here. And now that there's no longer crates to build for Adepticon, I have a few other projects on the horizon that may or may not be related to streaming. So, yes, thank you to everyone who bought Shores of the Bloom's Reach. There's actually that moved really well. There is a cult of Yefsiga Knights. Yefsigians. There's a cult of them too, and they are buying into the Shores. Beautiful book, super fun to have. Witty's in chat. Witty, I was just showing off the Night Thirst book on chat. Been flipping through this one today. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Also, Witty, I shot you a DM in Discord if you want to take a look at it. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for chilling for the update stream. From the top, if you're just joining and you haven't been here before, we do these every Thursday. Usually it's 30 minutes, sometimes up to an hour, where we just give you an update on all of our production. Give you a chance to field any questions, anything like that. More general sense, I can't tell you your specific order number status, though you can email us at our contact page and we will track it down for you. And then at the end, I usually sum it up. So mobile arms, we are just printing the mechs. Once we get through the Hinterlands mechs pack, we'll be moving into Sailor Labs, at which point orders will start being fulfilled if they haven't been fulfilled already. Looking for the majority of fulfillment of mobile arms to happen in April. May, we're looking at both Pit Lord and Night Thirst fulfillment. Pit Lord, 3 out of 5 of those miniatures have been molded. The other 2 are going off, and once they get back, we're just going to stick them in the queue. James has done a great job spinning resin, so we are not dealing with too many back-ordered products on that one. Should allow us to get all of the fulfillment on our end done by the time that those rule books land, and when they do, we can get Pit Lord out. Breacher, we're looking at a June fulfillment. Those books are getting printed overseas, so another few weeks onto that production time. But we will follow the same sort of production schedule, in which once we wrap up mobile arms, once we get the Pit Lord molds in, we're going to be spinning, printing, and dealing out product to you guys as fast as we can. MDF back order. We're currently cutting kits to the end of January. We cut them chronologically, but if you ordered a kit like last week that already had a spot in the queue, we are cutting stock to fulfill not only those orders, but subsequent orders and restock. Usually we get away with it, although sometimes that number does get outpaced. If you have questions about a specific kit or order, then you can always shoot us an email and Doug will hook you up with the right information. Resin, like I mentioned, is mostly caught up, so we're going to be running big runs of Lunar, Demon Ship, Hametsu minis, basically trying to restock from Adepticon, in which you guys cleared quite a few of those crates out. And the Adepticon minis and zines will be shipping the week of April 8th, most likely, here in about a week and a half. Thanks for all the support. Ben did just put the PDF for the zines live, so keep your eyes out for that. If you're wanting to get into either B&B Nightmare, Hill King, or Void Cowboys. Boom, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another Thursday update. We'll see you next week for the next Thursday update. Until then, have fun. Thanks for stopping by at Adepticon if you did. Thanks for stopping by this chat if you're just tuning in for an update stream. And I'll see you guys later.
Yo, you know my shit is awesome. All sauces in order. I'm the type to distance from your daughter. Unless the charmer. I rhyme a dollar from a quarter. Because the shit up on the radio is torture. So I grab it like a magnet. Microphone in my hand. It busted automatic. Style sporadic. It's just a habit. It's the thought thinker. Coming up with the scripture. With a defunct tip director. In the mixture.